was the one that we liked the most.
The one on top of the picture is the one that we like.
No, I think it's this one that says some college, because I don't know.
No, she's the one that doesn't know what she is.
Oh.
That's the one
That's the one that turned us off.
Huh?
That's the one that turned me off the first time I was looking.
Yeah.
In this video,
but
we are working
like
on having a baby through an egg donor. We narrowed down our choices, and this is part 2 of our journey.
So basically, out of technically 18, but again, that was because at the very beginning we chose a very wide array of everything. I would say we probably had about 13 to choose from that were realistic, in our criteria. We've narrowed it down to 3. So we've got one where I think might end up being the one where we're a little concerned, because the only thing that's odd is she's not adopted and her parents aren't adopted, but yet for her ethnicity she put Caucasian, but for her mom and dad she wrote unknown, and we're not sure why that is. But if I remember correctly, later in her profile she writes where her grandparents are from, and they're actually, if I remember correctly, from Germany and somewhere else, and European. So I don't know. And then we've got 2 others. We've got another one who's Caucasian, English, and Scottish. And then we've got one more who's Caucasian, Scandinavian, English, Scandinavian, Italian, and Scottish.
Well, but didn't you choose the Lithuanian one?
No. I forget why. So, one's in Maryland, one's right here in Tampa, and one's in Virginia. So the way this works is, we were a little worried about choosing fresh eggs versus frozen eggs, because we were thinking fresh eggs might be better, because they haven't been frozen. I don't know. We don't know a lot about it, but my nurse told me that no matter what, at some point in the process, the eggs get frozen regardless. So either A, these people have already donated and they have frozen eggs and they're just there, already ready to donate and go, or if they're going to do fresh eggs, we're going to have to go through a whole process of coordinating them, getting them extracted. But once they're extracted, they're going to still freeze them to transport them. So either way, at some point the eggs are going to be frozen. So, but we're kind of hoping, we want to pick the right donor. That's what's most important to us. But at the end of the day, frozen ones would be better, because that means we can move faster. So in looking quickly, 2 of these people are frozen and 1 is fresh.
Which one is fresh?
The one that's right here in Tampa, that's English and Scottish.
So she just donated them.
No, it means we're going to have to wait for her to donate them. We're going to have to ask her to go to the doctor and go through all the stuff she has to do to donate them, which could be
Couple weeks.
Weeks or months, I don't know. So that has to be a factor too.
It's a lot of things to go through. We have, how many do we have? 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm voting for we get the one that has the least health issues. And so number 1, if she has kids, that's a plus. Number 2, if she has a lot of family that have kids, that's a plus. That's gonna show her fertility level. That's one category. Number 2, she has to have the least health issues in her family. And then number 3, I want to see the level of commitment to things. That's through education or her career, whatever.
So
What's yours?
One of them is 27 and 2 of them are 30. Just to give an overview.
Okay.
I'm already leaning towards 1, but again, I'm not going to let this make my decision for me. I think frozen would be better, because again, we want to get going fast. So That's one factor. I agree with Derek, like, their motivation to, like, being in school and, like, what they're into and all that stuff is important. Not having a lot of concerning health conditions, which I think we already will have ruled some of that out. I mean, in fairness, I have some anxiety and very, 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 very little depression, mostly anxiety, and I found something that helped me and I'm good. But, you know, again, going into it, because what's different about this is, like, the fact that we have to, I don't know if we even told you, we have to pay $39,000 for this. So I don't feel so bad, like, being a little bit selective of, like, you know, since it can't be my genes, if I'm going to pick someone else's, I want it to be someone, like, we go into it without concerns. And with that being said, you never know. A child's going to be a child. You know, people as they grow, they're going to be who they are. So we'll deal with it as it comes. But, yeah, so the things I said earlier, you know, that are important to me, and then some of the things I just said now, that's what we're looking at with these three. So we'll let you know what we pick.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. So we gotta choose out of the three. So we gotta go through their personality things again, and then hopefully we can pick one. I think we both found the person that we like who's gonna.
Oh,
What?
I found how we do it.
You found how you do it?
Yeah. Yeah, we found the person we wanted to choose. So I was trying to figure out, like, because they were telling me on the phone, I think once you choose them, like, you can select them and sign up for it and whatever, but I couldn't figure it out at first. But I think I just found the button that lets me do it. So I think we both agreed on the same person, which is good.
I mean, the only thing that, you know, she checks off a lot of boxes with both of us. The only thing that both of us agree on that's alarming is, like, she's Caucasian, but then she doesn't know what her parents are.
But I swear there's something in here that says where her grandparents were here ancestry. Oh no, it does say unknown. I swear there was something in here that said that she, like, something about German and something. I feel like I saw it, but now I'm not seeing it. I don't know, but yeah, that's the only thing that we're disappointed in, is you can't see, like, what her ancestry is. She doesn't have it listed. I don't know why. But yeah.
We agree we both agree on that one person. Yeah, we both agree on that one person. So we'll see how this turns out. Like, so what's the next step? You're gonna choose?
Yeah.
You're gonna select her?
I think we select her, and then we have to fill in some information. And
then,
I'd imagine then it goes to, I guess it goes to, like, a different team of people at our fertility doctor, and
then after
we'll
that,
probably get contacted, and
then we have to send them $40,000. I'm just. This could be different for a lot of couples out there. Amanda and I are both blessed that we are able to do this. I'm very sympathetic to a lot of couples that have zero options, that are not even able to do this, that are not even able to come up with $40,000. But that's the standard, right?
yeah, I mean, our other option would be, I asked for some information on, so right now, the way we would do it is we'd use this person's eggs with Derek's sperm, create an embryo, and that's what goes inside me. The other option would be we take a full embryo that's not Derek's sperm and someone else's egg, and use that. And I think it would be cheaper, but I haven't gotten information on how much cheaper. But I think we both agree that even though the cost is insane, you know, if it could at least have one of our genes, I think that's important. And like I said in the beginning, when I was very honest about how we got to this point, I feel it's not that I don't want to have the child, because I do, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, but I feel like it's very important to Derek, and that's a big driving factor of like where we got to at this point. And I feel like it's because it's so important to him. I think it's really important that we try to make sure that it has his genes. So, you know, they always say how boys, we need to have a boy to live the legacy and keep the legacy going, but I don't really agree with that. I'm curious how you feel about that, but I kind of feel like even if we had a girl, like, she can come with us to Africa, she can go to the village, like, she can learn all the cultural stuff, and then she can have a family, and she can keep the everything going. It might not be the last name, but it doesn't mean it's not going to still be the bloodline, right?
For a long time, I've always said that I get along, like, most of my really good friends are females. So that being said, like, I love girls. I wouldn't mind having a girl. It would be nice to have a girl.
But you know how some men are like very much like, oh, I need to have a boy so they can keep the name going.
Yeah.
It's like, Derek's not even pressuring me to like take his last name. Like, we were talking about with my mom. My mom was like, yeah, she didn't take her second husband's last name because of what a hassle it was to change her last name. And Derek, when she was telling a story, was like, yeah, I could see that. It's a lot of work. Like, you know, like, I think what's important is just for us to have a kid because we want to raise a child in this world and, like, raise it right and, like, have someone to go on adventures with us with the puppies and everything. And, you know, and then I'm most excited for, like, taking the child to Africa to see what I got to see when I went with Derek and show them, like, his side of the family and his culture and all that stuff. And, you know, that's how it's going to live on, is, like, we're going to raise them and then they're going to get older. And they're going to have kids, and they're going to take their kids to the village. And that's how I envision it. So even if we have a girl, I'm good with it.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. I think we'll be alright if we have a girl too. Yeah. I'm not even thinking too much about it. All I care about is that we have a good human being. That's it. That's it. You're gonna type in the information to choose our donor?
Yeah. I gotta figure it out. It's asking for my date of birth, but it's not giving me numbers. Here we go. So we selected our egg donor. And we got an email that says, hello, we are thrilled to see you have selected an egg donor. Congratulations. So the program we're doing is called the Shared Risk 100% money back guarantee plan. So even though it's technically $39,000, that's how much it is. And what happens is we basically get 6 embryos. So basically 6 eggs that match with their sperm and create a whole embryo. If the person we chose like doesn't create enough of those, then we have to choose another egg donor down the line. But and then they put the embryos in me 6 different times, and if for any reason we don't get pregnant by the time the 6th one is done, then they give us all our money back. So either A, we're going to be happy that we spent the money and we're going to have a baby, and then we just have to pay the money back, or we won't have one and then we'll get our money back, and then at that point we're probably going to look into adoption. So
FYI, we had looked into adoption like before we did this, because we just cast our net out and hopefully see where it catches and what it catches and whatever. So the closest thing that we came out with out of the net was adoption. And by the way, adoption costs as much as what we're paying right now.
Oh yeah,
Or more.
And that's from, like, we actually wanted to adopt from, like, South Africa or somewhere. And between how much it costs to adopt, traveling, and then we kind of learned that for us to adopt a child that wasn't already born into having, like, HIV, AIDS, alcoholism issues, like a lot of different issues, it was very slim for us to get a kid, and so it would have been like 40 to 50 grand.
Yeah, which is the most unfortunate thing. Like, I wish there was a cheaper version of doing this, but we haven't looked into fostering hopefully to adopt. We haven't looked into that. But so far, everything else like costs about $30,000 to $40,000, $50,000. So you know. So having a kid in America is not easy these days.
I mean, I personally feel very strongly that because I was never like someone who really cared to have kids, you know, I was okay with or without them. I feel like if I am going to have one, I want to try to have one of my own, like, and have it be part of me. I know it's not my genes, but the fact that I'm going to carry the child and birth the child, and that I think is important. So if it all works out that way, it's going to be awesome. And then we both kind of agree that if it doesn't turn out that way, then probably by the time we'd be adopting, since it'll be a few years from now, we probably won't adopt a baby. It'll probably be a child that's young, you know, maybe 3 to 5 years old. So it's still impressionable, and we can really pass on a lot of us to that child. But, you know, at that point, we'll be in our early 40s, so we wouldn't probably adopt a baby. So we'll see what happens. I'm just curious what's going to happen next. It basically tells us we have to do something called like a gene screen, which I'm not really sure how much we really have to do, because the person we chose coincidentally didn't have anything come up in their genetic screening. So we have a
Looking back at this process, in the beginning we were worried about making sure we chose the right egg donor. In hindsight, we really had nothing to worry about because we were very realistic with our expectations. And I'm happy we chose the right egg donor for us.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what it is right now. So, we'll see you on the next step.